Hey Cancer, this is your February 2017 love reading. I'm Dre. Thank you guys so much for all of the support you guys gave me for my January videos, and I really appreciated all of your feedback. All of it is beyond what I could have imagined. Um, so this is going to be just a love reading. I'm using three different decks in the main reading. One other deck, the Whispers of Love Oracle deck, to sort of highlight, I guess, the lovey part of this. And these three decks will be a part of the main reading. And I will leave these parts of this reading time-stamped. So if you want to go to a certain part of each level of reading, I'm doing like three different levels, sort of. Just one, 10 cards, well, really 9 cards is the base, and then everything else, all the two other decks I use are going to be like basically clarifiers. And I am giving readings. They will be discounted because at this time they're pre-recorded. Nothing wrong with pre-recorded videos, but again, it sort of takes out the magic if I'm not doing it face to face with you. Personally, again, I don't really have the time for that, at least not yet, but we'll see how everything turns out as we go further into the year, since I'm really new at this. And so, yeah, let's get started. In the last reading, you guys have had very difficult start, ending to 2016, the year that shall not be named, and beginning of this year, especially with the Capricorn energy opposing you, and we've had these ridiculous lunar cycles that have just been hammering you guys. Okay, make sure I'm still recording. First 3 minutes of Gemini's video did not record because the cards hit the mouse. And they're still trying to hit the mouse. What are they trying to tell me? But, so yeah, in their last reading, there's just a lot of... An ending had happened, or an ending was beginning to happen, in terms of a relationship, in terms of a family. It was... You guys are... I'm going to say you guys are... you guys are having trouble, most of you, at least when it comes to love and when it comes to figuring out how to get things back to either how they were or how to fix something that has been broken. And the general feeling I've gotten from those last two readings is that there is something that's beyond repair. There is something that just needs to die if it hasn't already. That could be if you're in a relationship and you guys just need to go your separate ways, or you guys need to reach some sort of mutual understanding that hasn't been there before. Or if you're single, is getting yourself out of this rut of blaming yourself for your failures in love. So I'm using this first deck. Is the Holy Light, the Tarot of the Holy Light, and I love this deck so much. It is amazing. And so the overall theme of these cards is the Moon reverse. In the center of the reading, we have the Hierophant. So there's probably a marriage here, or an established relationship, or a way of thinking. We have the Hermit in reverse, the Nine of Cups reverse, the Two of Discs reversed. Beautiful illustrations on these cards. We have the Four of Discs, the Two of Cups, Seven of Wands reversed, the Page of Discs reversed, and the Knight of Discs reversed. So this feeling I'm getting now is the first thing that came to my mind was like a foolish new beginning. Now I don't mean foolish in a bad way, but probably foolish in a way in which you aren't considering all of the lessons that you have. You aren't considering, some of you aren't considering just the trials and tribulations that have taken you to get to this point, and you're not using that stored knowledge to your benefit. That makes sense. Because there is something here, relationship, of course. Speaking of, I forgot to pull a Whispers of Love card, which I'll do, but I just want to get to this real quick. It's probably the more urgent message, in that there is, I just see a false start. False start, not foolish start, but a false start. You guys probably feel like you're in a position to actually begin things new again in this relationship or go out into the dating scene. But your entire way of thinking about these things, you are holding on to old beliefs. You're holding on to an old train of thinking when the world around you has already changed beyond the point of you being able to navigate into this new world. The Lunar New Year started not that long ago from my recording this. And that's what I was mainly thinking about, you guys, when I was shuffling. It's like, because the January top of the month and the January mid-month readings were so similar, you guys had a few repeating cards, or at least a few repeating messages. And then you guys have the moon here in reverse, and the moon rules Cancer. And there was that full moon in Cancer in January. So I'm seeing that for a lot of you, an old way of thinking has to be eclipsed out, or you at least have to conform to this new reality that you find yourself in. That's a heavy message. But before I go any further, let me just pull one of these cards. These are gorgeous cards too. And I got these cards specifically for this monthly reading. And I'll use them again, like, now that I decided to do love readings. We have Consider Your Foundation. And I'll read the card. You are being asked to look at how committed you are to love. Yes. Where can I put this? So keep that in mind. You are being asked to look at how committed you are to love, which kind of ties into what I'm about to say, because this is, there are a lot of disc energies here, which is also pentacles or coins or whatever. Two of discs reversed, Knight of discs, Page of discs reversed, and then of course the Hierophant in the center, which in this deck is ruled by Aries. I kind of see both. The traditional Rider-Waite, it's associated with Taurus, and this is associated with Aries. Either way, sacrifice, but also knowing what you're worth, knowing what to expect. Now, I feel like you guys are in a position where, I guess, you can't keep fooling yourself. The word fool keeps coming up. I wouldn't be surprised if the fool comes up maybe. But it's that you guys have to release the blinders. The moon reverse is showing me, the universe is telling you that there are no more secrets. There's no more confusion. You've been crying. You've had anxiety. You've had nervousness. You've been closed off enough from this reality, and that now the universe is saying that, especially with all these pentacles reversed, it's affecting you in your material world. It's affecting your home. It's affecting even how you choose to hang on to this relationship, because you're holding on. a lot of you, you're trying to, with this Hierophant here especially, you're trying to corral everything, keep everything in a way that is the status quo is remained. But with this Page of Discs here, it's telling me that this new start, the energy around this relationship has totally changed. And if you're single, it's that the circumstances in which you feel like you're I don't want to say forcing yourself to be single, but you're not opening your brain up to new ways of thinking. This Moon reverse and this Page of Swords reverse, I feel like they're very oppositional energy in that the Moon reverse, it's seeking clarity, it's seeking the truth amidst the deception, the truth amidst all of the fog. And this Page of Discs is just throwing more fog in there. It's like, it's blurring your reality even more to the point that it seems like something has to give. And really with the Seven of Wands reversed, that's sort of also where like the message I was getting of not using all of your stored knowledge to your advantage is coming in. And even this Hermit reverse, the Hermit reverse asks for us to go inward, to go deep, to gain clarity and wisdom and knowledge in order to, it's really to serve ourselves, so we can be a beacon, so we can be a channel through which wisdom and knowledge is given and exchanged. That's required because also reverse could be like you're coming out of that period. But again, I don't see that because there is a desire here to move forward. I feel, especially with this Knight of Discs and this Two of Cups here, which is like this tantalizing goal, this dream of having this spirit bond, this united bond. But I'm also getting the sense that somebody isn't meeting you halfway, or there's another part of this equation that needs to be balanced out. For those of you that remember algebra, it's like when you're solving a linear equation, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. You can't just go through it willy-nilly and expect to get the right answer. There's work that needs to be put into this. And it has to be from a practical point of view. It's nothing that can exist in your head or in your heart anymore. It's out in the world. So now moving on to the Rider-Waite deck for clarification. The Moon shows up reversed again. So this is an urgent message, especially since the Moon is Major Arcana. Two Kings. It's a lot. But the Queen of Cups showed up as well. So definitely a relationship. With somebody you're with now or somebody you were with. So the theme of this reading, we have the Queen of Wands upright, which was in your last reading. It was at the bottom of that deck as well. And I used the Rider-Waite deck. So I'll just name these. We have the King of Wands reverse, Seven of Wands upright this time in this deck, and the Star reverse. the Moon reverse. King of Pentacles upright, King of Cups reverse. Ten of Wands reverse. Six of Pentacles and the Three of Wands reverse. And the Magician reversed. So back to what I was saying about a false start. Well, okay, first of all, let me look at the people that are here, because there are a few people here. I'm assuming you guys are either, you could be either the King of Cups. Some of you are the Queen of Wands. I'm mainly seeing you and somebody else. You're the King of Cups and the other person is the King of Pentacles. Of course, there's dissatisfaction here. There's a dissolution here, and none of you are seeing, you and the other person aren't seeing eye to eye. For some of you, if you're single, you're not looking deep within yourself to see what the problem is with why you can't connect with anybody, or why you can't feel like you can relate to somebody. There's that, but if you're in a relationship, I'm seeing that, and there's this King of Wands here as well, so in reverse. That's just giving me a sense that there's just general, across the board, non-agree, like you and somebody else, there's like an irreconcilable difference. But before I get to that, let me paint the story real quick. I'm getting the sense that for some of you, with this relationship, you're holding on to it because there's some hope here. There's a chance you feel like, because from the past, that I'm getting the sense that a lot of you are putting your worth into this person, that you feel like you can't be on your own, or that you can't do it alone. And so you're essentially turning to this person for wisdom. This person is your fount of worth. This is how you validate yourself. It's through this person, which, in itself isn't a bad thing, but that could turn into codependency incredibly easy. So it's just, I'm getting the sense of that you're wary. You're treading. Trust your intuition, Cancer. Trust your intuition, because this Moon comes up reversed both times. And this deck in the Tarot of the Holy Light is ruled by Aquarius. And traditionally it's ruled by Pisces, but come on, the Moon rules Cancer. So this is you guys. Especially because I don't see the Chariot here. So it's there is this hesitation. You guys know that there is something wrong. You guys know there is something off. You know something has to be let go of. But I'm getting the sense that for some of you, you are still putting in more work than that's required. Hoping to make something out of, I don't want to say nothing, but make something. Whenever I see the Magician reverse, I just see it's a new start. It's something new happening. Something new is definitely happening, but it's not in the way that you might want it to. This is sort of like, if you think of Frankenstein, I guess, how the doctor, he wanted to create new life and he made new life, but he made Frankenstein. So it's not like it's this wonderful new exciting beginning. It could be just the beginning of another cycle of things just going downhill, things getting worse. And if you are single, or if you're just dating, there's a part of you that needs to die. Not really die, but you are withholding yourself, which I got this for Gemini too. There's a sense of you just withholding yourself, except with Gemini, it was more of them not being open in communication, having something on their mind, but not being willing to say it. You feel this. You feel something's wrong. You see it. There are a lot of pentacles here. It's affecting how you do your day-to-day activities, how you do your day-to-day life, how you work, how you maintain your family, how you make money. It's affecting you. And you see the results all too clear when you just look out and you're like, you don't feel the loneliness. You see it too. That's if you're single. Also, maybe I also see that if you're in a relationship, that you two discs can also represent body, our physical body, besides just our material gain. So I'm getting the sense that for some of you, you're probably not having sex. The sex drive has gone down considerably. You two probably aren't even really attracted to each other right now, or at least the one of you is stubborn about actually letting something go and opening up. It could be you, but it could easily be the other person. But in general, I'm just getting a sense that a lot of you are holding on to past, not past issues, yeah, past issues that you're stubbornly carrying into the present, and that some of you really want to get rid of this and solve this and have something new come from this, but you can't fool yourself. You have to be genuine in and how you perceive love. And the Two of Cups is always, just as much as it is about finding somebody else, finding our soulmate, falling in love with somebody else, it's also acquiring that equilibrium and that balance within us. It's as much about loving ourselves as it is about loving somebody else. Excuse me. And of course, you can't love anybody else if you don't love yourself. Or at least that's what I believe. You can't get love if you can't give love. So there's a part of you there, this notion of what it means to be in love, this notion of what it means to, even the very notion of what it means to be in a committed, stable relationship that's feasible across the board, in which you are being satisfied emotionally and so are they, but also you guys can maintain this, again, the status quo. All of that is in play, and all of it requires a level of thinking that goes beyond just what you're used to. And it's something that your intuition is screaming at you to wake up and open your eyes about. And it's something that is incredibly important. So you might not want to face the truth and open your eyes and look at this relationship for what it is, which probably it isn't the best thing. Either you're emotionally greedy or they are, or you're closed off or they are, or somebody's not willing to give something up or let something go, something that happened in the past. Maybe you're giving entirely too much for a relationship that's not going anywhere. And if it is going somewhere, it's not really, I'm going to say it's going downhill, but it's hitting a wall. It's hitting a wall. Last deck is the Hanson deck. We have the Ace of Rods reversed. I'll just call these out as I pull them because it's annoying to pull them out, pull them off. We have the the King of Swords upright, and I'll also get this card because it came out upright. I think both of these. We have the Magician reversed again, and the Ace of Swords. The Four of Swords, and the Nine of Pentacles reverse. Death reverse. And below that was the Devil reversed. Jesus, I can get all these cards right. Yeah, below that was the Devil reverse, which is the only way I like to see the Devil. The Six of Wands reverse, which I'm not sure if you guys have that in the last reading. I don't know. So many readings. Two of Cups upright again. The High Priestess reverse. Seven of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles reversed. At the bottom of this deck, we have the Ten of Swords. So there's a definite ending. Definite ending or completion with regards to a relationship. Or at least if it's not a total ending, there is a way that you and your partner, you have to be willing to let something go. You have to be willing to let something die. And this death, this transformation, this transmutation of this relationship is happening slowly because you are opening up and you're awakening yourself to the fact that this love isn't what you thought it was. And if you're single, it's you having to let go again. I feel like the whole basis of this reading is letting go of past thinking patterns, past ways of doing things, old ways of doing things that aren't really, serving you in the long run because you aren't getting the love that you are deserved. So there is a battle of, I don't want to say ego, but the passion has dissipated, or the passion or the direction of the relationship has changed from one that was probably more conciliatory into one to where both of you now you're at each other's throats, perhaps. Maybe that's just a few of you, but I am getting the sense that for a lot of you, for a few of you, it's that there is a sense of inferiority. Some of you aren't recognizing your true total worth. And with this Four of Swords here, I'm getting the feeling that it's really asking you to go internal, to really, and it's with this Moon in reverse. Cancer, the only thing I feel like you guys have to do in order to get real about your relationship or the person you're with or how you're thinking about going out into the dating world is to just get real. Don't delude yourself anymore. If somebody feels like they can come in and out of your life, treat you any kind of way, talk to you any kind of way, just sort of make decisions for you without consulting you or without feeling like you are owed an explanation, you got to cut it. It's just as simple as that, because I feel like at the end of the day, you are impeding, that's not the word I want. You are stopping yourself. There's a fancier word I wanted to use. But anyway, you're stopping yourself from getting the love you truly deserve. And this Magician in reverse here and this Ten of Pentacles here connecting with this Two of Cups here is really cautioning you to not fall into that daydream trap fantasy that you might have regarding a committed relationship or regarding how somebody might be coming into your life, like if you're dating, or if you're with somebody already, somebody else might come in and promise you the world. It's a lie. Because you don't have the Ten of Cups, but you have the Ten of Wands reversed, the Ten of Pentacles reversed, and the Ten of Swords upright. So if you don't own up to the fact that something has to end, you're just going to suffer more because of it. You're going to have to deal with perhaps just living in your fantasy or living in living in a way in which you are choosing to view things a certain way instead of what they actually are, because your intuition now is compromised. The High Priestess in reverse. But I'm really getting the sense that these two Moon cards in reverse is begging you, even with the Star reverse, it's begging you, the universe is wanting you to go in and realize what you are actually worth, what you because these are very intuitive energies and you are a water sign. So I'm getting that sense there is a huge block here. Maybe you feel like you're in this relationship out of obligation or out of duty. You have you're not obligated to do anything you don't want to do, Cancer. I mean, even if you feel like you can't get out of the situation, there are people that you can talk to. There are places you can go, so you won't have to deal with whoever this is. So you don't have to feel like you're trapped in this situation, because it's very easy for people. I know this personally, to just be victims of their own victimhood, to sort of allow that victim mentality to impede. That's the word I wanted to find. Maybe I did say impede, but anyway, it's impeding you from getting to where it's impeding your growth as a person that can be loved, as a person that deserves to love and give love, to love and be loved, whatever. So that's the general sense I'm getting, that there are multiple endings here. Endings regarding, I'm seeing a lot of you as being like the put upon partner. You have to deal with all your partner's burdens. You have to listen to everything they have to say. They basically, I don't want to say control you, but you feel like that is your obligation to do so. But you aren't obligated to do anything. If you're obligated to do anything in this life, especially with regards to love, is to just simply love. Love shouldn't have to be a chore. Love shouldn't have to be a battlefield. It shouldn't have to be this sort of push and pull sort of thing where you give and the other person takes 20 steps back, or where they put expectations on love. Love is conditional in their eyes, which doesn't exist. Love is not conditional. True love is not conditional. I'll pull one more card from Whispers of Love. That card wanted to come out, but oh well. Anytime, fellas. 2. Gemini got 2 as well. Show simple acts of kindness. A simple act of kindness can energize you and bring happiness to those around you. So this isn't about just being kind to somebody else. It's also about being kind to yourself. Knowing that I want to say the best antidote to hate or to anger is kindness and love, because they're pretty much on the same spectrum. They're just expressed differently. And that has a lot to do with about your psychology, essentially, where you are in a specific moment, in a specific time. But what I'm really seeing this as is showing acts of kindness to yourself. And that you won't know what that is until you realize what you're worth. Consider your foundation, again, to bring this card back up. You're being asked to look at how committed you are to love. A lot of you are totally committed, but it's like, is this the love you've actually wanted? Is this, if you're single, is this how you pictured your dating life to be? Are you happy? Just, I don't want to say you're floating from person to person, but it's like, don't you deserve more? Don't you deserve to be treated? Don't you, especially with people my age, it's hard for us to find other people that want to be serious. I mean, I guess that's probably everybody in their 20s. It's hard to just find people that you can take seriously, because everybody's playing games. Everybody's too busy playing games. So you yourself might not be a game player, but you've adapted to that. And so it's just like that's what you're used to. But it's not what you want. So it's totally changing your life, your way of viewing things, in order to bring something new in. And this other card we have, the only thing that is real is love. Shift your focus from the problem back to love. So wow, it's just totally I mean, again, this whole thing is love related. I mean, but I just think that message in particular is important because it's the simple fact that a lot of us don't, I myself am struggling with it, trying to figure out what love is, what love means to me, what love means to other people around me. But love is something that is pure. Love is something that shouldn't have to be work. If you're going to work with somebody, you're working with each other to make each other better, is my understanding. One person isn't knocking the other person down or making the other person feel worthless, because you might feel like that's what love is growing up, that you saw that happen in your family, that you saw that happen to all your friends, and so you assume that's what love is. It's arguing and it's just picking up the slack and it's dealing with somebody else's problems, all their family issues and their mom issues and all that stuff. No. No, 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 no. Love is loving yourself first so you can give that pure love to everybody else, in my opinion. Now, whether you choose to take that or not is up to you, but I think it's a salient message. So thank you so much, Cancer, for watching this video. Thank you guys so much for all your support, all of your likes, all of your comments. Again, I will be doing readings. They will be discounted because they are going to be pre-recorded, at least until I'm able to do them live, because I really want to do them live. So yes, thank you guys so much again. Thank you. Bye. See you next month.